Did you know that buying a cheap $250,000 house could actually be the fastest way to go broke in 2026? It sounds like a dream compared to those $500,000 mansions, but for most people, it's actually a financial trap disguised as a white picket fence. We've been told for decades that homeownership is the ultimate goal, but what if the math simply doesn't add up anymore? By the end of this video, you're going to know exactly why a $250,000 home might be the most expensive mistake you ever make. I'm going to pull back the curtain on the hidden numbers the banks don't want you to see, and I'll show you why technically affordable and actually livable are two very different planets. So, picture this. It's 2 a.m. You're scrolling through Zillow because, let's be honest, that's what we do instead of sleeping now. You finally find it. A house that doesn't cost a fortune. It's $250,000. It's got that specific shade of contractor beige carpet that seems to absorb both light and hope. The kitchen has laminate countertops from 2003 that are peeling at the edges like a bad sunburn. There's some fake wood paneling in the basement that definitely looks like it's hiding a secret or some asbestos. But hey, the listing says, affordable starter home in a great neighborhood. That's realtor speak for, it's small, it's old, and you should be grateful it even exists. You start doing the mental gymnastics. You make $60,000 or maybe $80,000 a year. You think, I can do this. This is what my parents did. But here's where it gets interesting. Even at $250,000, the math today is brutal. It's a different kind of brutal than a $1 million mansion, but it'll empty your pockets just the same. First, let's do a reality check. These homes actually exist. You can find them in Toledo, Ohio, or Rochester, New York, or scattered across the Midwest and the South. In some places, $250,000 gets you a real house with actual square footage. But just because these homes exist doesn't mean the average person can actually afford them without turning their life into a financial stress simulator where ramen becomes a primary food group. The median household income in America is around $84,000. We're asking people to buy homes that cost 3 times their annual income. That sounds reasonable until you realize that the gap between possible and comfortable is where your stress lives. And that gap, it's wider than you think. But wait, it gets even crazier when we look at the entry fee. The old school rule was to put 20% down. For a $250,000 house, that's $50,000 in cold hard cash. Now, the median savings account in America has about $8,000 in it. That's a $42,000 gap. That isn't just a gap, it's a chasm. It's like being asked to dunk a basketball when you're 5'4" and the hoop is on the moon. If you're making $84,000 and saving 10% of your gross income, which, let's be real, almost nobody does, it would take you 6 years to save that down payment. And that's assuming house prices stay frozen, which is about as likely as me winning a marathon. Now, I know what you're thinking, Bill. I'll just use an FHA loan. I only need 3.5% down. Sure, you can do that. That's only about $8,750. Suddenly, the dream feels real. But congratulations, you just unlocked PMI private mortgage insurance. Think of PMI as a club bouncer making you pay a cover charge just to protect the club from you. Except the club is a bank, and they're already making money off you in 17 different ways. That PMI is going to cost you another $60 to $150 every single month. That's money flying out the window just to protect the bank's interests, not yours. But here's the kicker. And this is the part that changed how I think about money forever. The mortgage is just the beginning. Let's say you put 10% down. You've got a $225,000 loan. At today's interest rates, your principal and interest are around $1,450 a month. But a house isn't just a loan, it's a hungry beast that needs to be fed. You've got property taxes. In these affordable areas, you're looking at $200 to $300 a month. And taxes are like a subscription service you never signed up for that increases its price every single year. Your city wants a new park? Taxes go up. A bird looks at City Hall the wrong way? Taxes go up. Then there's homeowners insurance. Those costs jumped 24% in just the last few years. Tack on another $100 a month there. And don't even get me started on maintenance. The water heater doesn't care that your house was only $250,000. When it explodes for the same price as it would in a mansion. The general rule is to budget 1% of the home's value for repairs. That's another $200 a month. When you add it all up, mortgage, taxes, insurance, maintenance, and PMI, your affordable $250,000 house is costing you about $2,113 every single month. That's over $25,000 a year just to exist in a house with peeling countertops. If you're finding this breakdown valuable and want to keep your wallet fat, hit that subscribe button. Most people watching aren't subscribed yet, and you don't want to miss the next reality check. Now, let's look at what this does to a real family. Let's call them the Smiths. They're a hardworking couple making a combined $75,000 a year. On paper, the bank says they're golden. The real estate agent says they're the perfect first-time buyers. But let's look at their actual lives. After taxes, health insurance, and a tiny 401k contribution, the Smiths take home about $4,400 a month. That's their real money. Now, subtract that $2,113 housing cost. They are left with $2,287 for everything else. One car payment, $350. Car insurance, $20. Gas to get to the jobs that pay for the house, $200. Student loans, $250. Groceries, $500. We're already down to less than $900 left, and we haven't even paid for electricity, water, internet, cell phones, clothes, or a single pepperoni pizza. This is what affordable actually feels like. It feels like standing in the grocery store aisle having an internal debate about whether the name brand cereal is worth $2 more than the store brand. It's living like a college student while owning a $250,000 asset. This household is spending nearly 50% of their take-home pay just to keep the lights on and the roof over their heads. Every unexpected expense becomes a full-blown crisis. If the check engine light comes on, their stomach drops. Not because they love the car, but because they don't have the $600 to fix it. This is the financial stress simulator I was talking about. Your house poor, but everyone tells you to be grateful because you didn't buy a $500,000 house. It's like being told to be happy you're only treading water in 10 feet of water instead of 20. You're still drowning. The wildest part is how much the world has changed. Back in 1988, a house might cost 2.5 times a person's salary. Today, even these cheap houses are often 3 or 4 times a household's income. Since 1990, home prices have skyrocketed 400%, while incomes have only nudged up about 180%. The math is broken, folks. It's not your fault, and it's not because you're eating too much avocado toast. You're trying to bail out the Titanic with a coffee mug. We've normalized this struggle. We've been brainwashed into thinking that if you aren't financially stressed, you aren't doing adulthood right. But I'm here to give you permission to do something radical. You can choose not to play this game. There is no trophy for being house poor at $250,000. There is no prize for transferring all your hard-earned cash to a bank while you lay awake at night wondering if the roof will hold through the next storm. Real wealth isn't equity trapped in a house you can't afford to maintain. Real wealth is margin. It's having money left over at the end of the month. It's the freedom to say yes to dinner with friends or no to a job you hate because you aren't one paycheck away from disaster. If the math shows that a $250,000 house leaves you with only a few $100 for life, it's okay to say no thanks. You can keep renting and invest your extra cash. You can look for an even cheaper market where houses are $150,000. Or you can wait until your income grows. Don't let a mortgage broker or a glossy Zillow listing pressure you into a technical approval that leads to a practical nightmare. The bank will approve a terrible decision every day of the week as long as they get their interest. They don't care if you can afford name brand cereal, but I do. To wrap this up, $250,000 might be the new entry level, but that doesn't make it easy. Between taxes, insurance, and the hidden costs of just existing, it's a heavy lift for the average family. Always run your own numbers based on your take-home pay, not your gross income. Remember, the goal isn't just to own a house, it's to own a life you actually enjoy living. Drop a comment telling me, do you think $250,000 is still affordable in today's world, or is the American dream becoming a nightmare? And subscribe if you haven't. I post new videos every week to help you keep your money where it belongs, with you.